also learned very quickly how much money you need to have for you to sustain that business, right? So um, I had to go back to work at one point because I quit my job and I said, this is it. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Sometimes Instagram works in great ways. It's not just for scrolling aimlessly. In between my social media timers, I had a chance to connect with today's guest, saw his page. He's a rock star in the entrepreneur space. He's got a lot to offer as he has his own podcast show as well. Family man, everything in between. Leo, thanks so much for taking some time to join that entrepreneur show.
Thank you so much, Vincent. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm excited to learn a bit of your journey, and you look great. I'm happy to see that. We were going back and forth, everyone trying to find a date. He wasn't feeling well. Now he's back. He's ready.
My entire family got sick. It was a mess, but we're all good now. Thank God.
Oh, absolutely. Always, if you don't have your health, nothing else really matters. And I say that all the time. When
I agree.
People say you're in mental health or entrepreneurship, there is no entrepreneurship without mental health. So that's my overlap there. Speaking of entrepreneurship, though, we have one of the best on the show today. I'd love for you to share some of your journey. Start from wherever you feel comfortable.
Awesome. So I was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I immigrated to Queens, New York when I was 7 years old. And, I always carried this weight of that responsibility. My parents left their home, their land to give me an opportunity of a better life. And I understood that at a very young age. So I guess my aspiration in life was to always make sure that never went in vain, right? So I began in an IT world. So my dad is an audio and visual engineer. So at a young age, I began playing with cables, playing with computers. I began soldering at a very young age. So I went that route and I got my degree in computer networking. And I began doing IT service for a couple of different companies, couple of different schools, for the government a little bit. And then eventually I got to the privilege of working with billionaires. So I began working for a few different billionaire families, and I was a one-man show. I managed everything from their kid's iPad to the network in their yacht. And that really taught me a lot, right? That was really basically my college. I did go to college, but that was really where I learned what I needed to have the confidence to be an entrepreneur. So moving forward, I got married. My wife is a licensed board certified behavior analyst. So she has a license in New York State to modify kids' behaviors with autism.
Amazing
work.
So
yeah, it's really, really amazing work. We help so many families. Yeah. So we got to a place where she was working for our competitors, and she wasn't really fond of how they did things. And at that time, I had started two companies that failed. I began a app/website company that went nowhere. And then I was doing an e-commerce that really didn't take off also.
Right.
So we got together and we're like, all right, how can we come together and take your knowledge and my knowledge and make it into a business? So we built our own agency. This was in 2018. So now, almost 6 years later, we have a 7-figure agency in the healthcare space, and we help tons of kids, tons of families. We do in-school and in-home behavior modification. So that's really what got me to where I am today. And now I'm at a place where I've been very blessed. I've been very successful, and I want to give back. So a year ago, I began this journey of coaching, mentoring, and teaching others, and showing others the rope, and hopefully providing them with a learning curve on how to reach and achieve their dreams.
I love the direction that all of these endeavors are heading, and it's ultimately to help people who are facing some kind of adversity move forward. I definitely see some overlap here already, like we talked about in the beginning, for you to come on my mental health podcast to help all of those listening on with autistic family members or perhaps themselves. I want to backtrack a bit. You mentioned too, and I'm going to do air quote, failed businesses. those businesses have led you to some success. You've
For
pieced together
sure,
some
for
lessons learned.
sure.
What is one major
Failed in
takeaway?
a sense that it didn't make money. That's really what I mean by failed. But I learned so much.
Yeah,
I don't
provide us
think
with
I
one key takeaway. I need the Leo number one takeaway from these endeavors.
that's a great question. I think in the beginning, I wasn't really aware of how much money was actually required to really have a business take off, right? And I learned that very quickly. And I also learned very quickly how much money you need to have for you to sustain that business, right? So um, I had to go back to work at one point because I quit my job and I said, this is it. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And I crashed. And I got to a place where I spent all my savings and I had to go get a job. But that was a good lesson. It taught me that things can't always go the way you want them to go. You have to actually carve out a really good plan and have a safety net in order for you to be able to get to where you want to go.
Carving out the plan. If only that were easier said than done.
For
And
sure. It's
the
very difficult because, it takes a lot of drive and discipline. You have to really, really want it, because I mean, look, during COVID, I got into a jam. I have a contract with the Board of Education of New York City. So we provide services to kids within school districts in New York. During COVID, they stopped paying me. They didn't pay me for about 9 months. So that was super, super challenging for me because I had to go through all my savings. I had to borrow money from my aunt, borrow money from my mother-in-law, just to keep payroll going and to keep the business up and running.
yeah,
There was about a 4 month period where I didn't run payroll, where I had no money. I didn't lose a single employee. Everyone stuck out with us. Everyone understood. And I think that goes to the culture that we build and the support that we provide to our employees that gave them the reassurance that no, we're in this together and we're going to come out of it and we're going to get our money. So those challenges are very, very hard to go through if you don't have a want and a why big enough that's going to push you through that breakthrough.
I love it. And I'm typing it up here in the show notes from when you go live. How to build a culture when there is no turnover, even in the down periods. That story right there is why I'm glad I asked that question, because that is something that, especially now where I find accountability and loyalty, all of these areas in employment, very hard to secure. Where if someone sees a
Very,
shiny object in a different direction, and I actually just went through this on a different deal, shinier objects, they went that way and chased that shiny object. So for you to build that, I think is very impressive. You delivered a lights out episode so far, Leo. We've talked about your lessons from your businesses, what you're up to now. But as I mentioned in the beginning, you also have an all-star podcast. Let's introduce my audience to yours.
I do. So I have the Leo Climaco podcast where I interview. I'm basically following the Joe Rogan model, right? I'm really interviewing people that I like, that I want to talk to, that I want to learn more from.
I like that.
Someone who's done something, who has something to offer to the world, right? I think everyone has a message, and everyone has that special thing to offer. So I want to make sure that I am able to shine a light on those people and let them get their spotlight and their message out.
What is the name of this podcast one more time, and where can we find the podcast online?
So it is the Leo Climaco podcast. I think right now the best place to find it is on YouTube, Leo Climaco 360 / YouTube, or youtube.com / Leo Climaco 360. We are currently uploading it to Spotify and Apple Music. I'm sorry, and Apple, yeah, Apple Music, right?
Yeah, I can't keep up the Apple changes, but you're on the right track there. If I can be of any assistance with getting those pushed out, you just let me know. I'm happy to help. It's great to see YouTube now have a podcast channel. For a long time, I
I
wasn't
agree.
uploading video because it was just another playlist. Then, of course, they had the podcast channel come out, so I had to re-upload, program it all. But we're moving to times where people do like to see some video. I'm finding they like the audio
Yes.
for when they're driving, but if there's video, they want to head to YouTube. It doesn't add up to your total downloads amount, but that's not what it's about. It's about getting people the content they want to see,
I
providing
agree.
authentic conversations.
About the message.
And that's what it is. I think you've delivered quite a few great messages today, and I can't thank you enough. Before we sign off, though, Leo, I would love to open the floor to you. Is there anything on your mind today? Here we are recording end of October. What's on your mind? What's going on?
So we have a few months left of the year, and a lot of people like to take this time off and relax and go on vacation and just let, ride off the year. I disagree. I think you have enough time to change your life. I think you have enough time to strap on those boots and really make a plan and really change yourself so you can start 2024 with a bang, right? Don't wait till 2024 for your New Year's resolution to start your life. Start now so you can hit 2024 running and get the year started right.
I love that advice, and I'm in the same boat, setting myself up for success. Quarter 1 starts happening right now.
A
There,
100%.
there's plenty of time left. I haven't even announced this publicly at all. I got accepted for a TED Talk yesterday, and this is October.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It took a long time to get that, and it's for January. So it's the work I'm putting in right now is going to be
Right.
right there for Q1. So everyone out there, he's inspired me. So I know he's inspired you too, especially closing off with that message from him. And the year on top. Set yourself up for success. One more time, Leo. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on that
Thank
Entrepreneur
you so
Show.
much, Vincent. I really appreciate you.
Where are you online? Your website, your social media, all things Leo.
I'm on IG at Leo Climaco 360. On YouTube, also Leo Climaco 360. On TikTok, Leo Climaco 360 also. And my website, leoclimaco.com. You can go there and get a free copy of my Design Your Dream Life Playbook. It's a digital book that we've created that can really help you map out your whole life and your dreams and help you accomplish it. And also, if you want to work with me, you can go to workwithcoachleo.com, fill out the page, and we can get started.
Everyone, be sure to head to go check out that content. We are at That Entrepreneur Show on all social media and on YouTube at Vincent A. Lancy. Under there will be the That Entrepreneur Show podcast, where you will get some video in looks to today's show. And with that, we are signing off. Leo, thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Have a great day.
You too. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.